It's like hazy in here. Is it like I feel like beyond this first row, it's just like blurry. Affected by nature. Happy Leo season. Happy new moon in Leo today. Happy Mercury retrograde tomorrow. I love following the planets and the transits, and for me, one really important element of the yoga tradition is the reminder that yoga is about alignment, not perfection, and it's the reminder that we are part of the rest of nature, and to look to bring ourselves not only in alignment with ourselves, but to bring ourselves into greater and greater alignment with those in the world around us and the rest of nature. And so I look to the seasons and the planets for just really for like inspiration, not like I like to take astrology like I like to take everything with a grain of salt. But even just thinking about kind of what I wanted to do in my practices and in my teaching as we begin a Mercury retrograde at the end of the summer. Mercury's in retrograde now until like after school starts. If there's anyone like going back to school or sending kids to school, it's going to be a season. And so I'm just thinking about the last season. So retrograde is like an invitation, a reminder to spend extra time in our Re's, meaning like any actions that begin with the prefix RE. Like this is the season to spend time reflecting, which we were just doing last season in Cancer season. Cancer season's all about reflection. Renovating, repairing, I don't know, think of it, releasing. Can you think of any? What? Reclining, yes, bolster today, by the way. We'll come around with that. Restoring and reclining. Laying down with your legs up. It's August. Reevaluating, yes, and to like not rush things, like really take your time to make sure you're reading and rereading and reviewing all those things. Like this is the time from I guess tomorrow morning until like August 28th or 29th. I have to check the dates. And then Leo season is like the season to shine. So just thinking about it being Leo season and kind of the spirit of our practice and our contemplation is what it means for us as individuals to really authentically shine, especially in like a time, or as the yoga tradition would say, in like an era of darkness. It's so important that each one of us recognizes our authentic light and does like everything we can in our power to bring our light meaningfully to the world around us. So it's like not in a bypass sense, but it's like, what is your light and how and where is it needed? And then like, I talked a little bit about like the kind of dark side, shadow side of Cancer season. So like I'm by no means, I don't mean to offend anyone ever. And at the same time, maybe I'm an equal opportunity offender. Because I like to kind of poke at like the dark spots. So Leos can tend towards, you know, kind of an overactive ego or being a little bit egotistical, as we all can. So again, not to say that this is just for Leos. Like just like we all are every character in every yoga story, we all are every character in the zodiac. So you got to like take that in and take it to heart and go like, where is that my tendency? And so we're not the yoga tradition that's trying to subjugate or transcend the ego. We think that the ego is beautifully divine. Like all parts of ourselves are divine. We just don't want the ego to get in the way of the indwelling light. We want the ego to reflect, reveal the indwelling light, and sometimes the ego will eclipse the indwelling light. So this is a time to get really reflective at the beginning of the retrograde, to go back to our Cancer season contemplations about nurturing our ground of being and nurturing our intrinsic core and center and nurturing our heart of hearts. And Leo is all about the heart, the engaged heart. So this brings me, I promise we're going to do yoga. I'm being long-winded today. This is a retrograde issue for me. Got to be more succinct. One of my most favorite teachings from the yoga tradition, it's a Sanskrit word called Shraddha, and it's the Sanskrit word for faith, Shraddha. But the definition for faith in the yoga tradition is about how and where we place our heart. And this is how we get really honest with ourselves about our indwelling light and really effective about how and where we place our light in the world. The word for heart in Sanskrit is, or the word for God in Sanskrit, one of the many names for God in Sanskrit is Vasudeva, which means the indwelling light of the heart. And the practices of yoga are about helping us to discover and recognize and realize the indwelling light, and then having strategies for bringing this light more fully to those in the world around us. Leo season, potent time for bringing your light, shining your light, and making sure that it's emanating from your heart and not from your ego or what you think. Just bringing all these parts of ourselves into alignment, that our ego is in line with the heart, that our mind is in line with the heart, and that our body, like the body of the moon, can more clearly and fully reflect the light of the heart as we go through the next 2 weeks from new moon to full moon. We're getting better and better at considering how we more fully bring our light into the world. And I love the kind of overcast day for this. It just kind of puts me right back in Cancer season. Like, I don't want to be out. I want to be in bed, like binging on TV. They're having a great conversation up here about one of the Real Housewives. Yeah. Still have never done that, any of those, yeah. Someday, playing catch up. So I will bring around bolsters. I always love to incorporate a restorative posture or two when Mercury's in retrograde. Again, just taking the time to slow down, to restore. And in your restoration, to kind of, again, it's not about perfection, but just what does it mean for you to progressively restore yourself? Do you need to focus on your breath or a mantra or kind of space out? What does a restorative practice mean for you? So we'll weave in some restorative poses over the next few weeks. And we will continue this practice, this work of standing in and on and from the heart. Take as comfortable a seat as humanly possible. For anyone new or newish, welcome. My name's Mariel. I'll facilitate. I also own the joint, so if you have feedback, comments, anything, feel free to hit me up. This is Melissa. She's coming around to assist and help, and we'll come around with bolsters, and if you need water or anything else, we'll bring it to you. And then Camden is going to be on the mat demoing, so if you're like, what the fuck? Just Camden knows. She's been with me a long time, so she can translate it through physical form, and for folks at home as well. Hi, friends at home. Real quick, we have flight school with Khalif on Saturday, August 10th from 1 to 3. That's an arm balance and inversions workshop, so perfect for this Leo season. Astro Pranayama workshop for teachers with Khalif, teachers and serious students. That's just after flight school from 4 to 6 next Saturday. Thai yoga massage with Stacia, that's Saturday, August 17th from 1:30 to 3:30. Kids yoga fun night with Sarah D. Simone on Saturday, August 17th, 5:30 to 8:30. That's school-age kids. We do pizza, yoga, and project a movie on the studio wall. Roll into rest with Adriana, and that's like a drop-off thing, so you get a few moments of peace. And roll into rest with Adriana and Anisha, followed by the immersion and 200-hour info session, Sunday the 18th from 1 to 3, and then the Q&A is 3:30. Anyone else have any announcements you want to share with the room? Okay, let's do some yogs. Take as comfortable a seat for you as humanly possible. Make any final adjustments. Notice your connection to the earth. Take a moment to really nurture your ground of being, the sense of connection with the lap of the earth, where we are all connected. And as you visualize rooting yourself into the lap of the earth, look for the breath. Invite a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Notice where you are and how you are, what you feel, where you feel it, how it feels. Notice the sensation of the breath as it flows in and down and fills you up. And this is the sensation of the breath as you exhale, letting the outer body soften and settle. The entire practice of yoga is the path of the engaged heart. All of the practices of yoga are strategies for helping us come into deeper intimacy with the indwelling light of the heart, so that the indwelling light of the heart can more effectively and sustainably inform, illuminate, and inspire the mind and the body. In the physical practice of an alignment-based yoga, we have an opportunity to align ourselves in body, mind, and heart, engage ourselves in body, mind, and heart, and stretch ourselves through aligned engagement in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts, so that the gift of life that each breath offers can flow in us, as us, through us, more deeply and more fully, and in turn the indwelling light can flow from us more fully, more freely. As you deepen your breath, feel how naturally your breath deepens you. And take a moment to consider, to reflect what it might mean for you to nurture your indwelling light. To consider, to contemplate what light it is that you have to bring to this world, the light that you are here to bring to this world. And on your next inhalation, we'll bring the hands together before the heart in Anjali Mudra, a gesture of sincere self-reverence, of courageous self-offering, and a gesture of faith, one that places the heart before the heart. Shraddha is about how and where you place your heart, so that the indwelling light can guide us for at least the time we spend together. Together, we'll set the tone for our practice by sharing the voices of our hearts and the sound of an Om. Please feel free to join into the sound or just let it wash over you. Deep breath in. Om. Bow to your heart. Keeping that connection inward, unwavering, release the hands, blink open the eyes. I was even thinking this morning in my meditation, about the power of belief and what do you believe in? What do you believe about yourself? And how does that either enhance your capacity to shine your light, and also just being honest, in what ways does that diminish our capacity to shine our light? Everything I offer is an invitation, not an obligation, so please feel free to take it or leave it, modify, spectate, hydrate as you like, ask questions. Questions are welcome. We'll come onto all fours to start in a tabletop position. You can have a blanket for your knees if you like. Find your breath. As you exhale, round your back. And as you inhale, arch. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch, and just begin by linking breath and movements in the ways that naturally feel good. Again, noticing what you feel and feel what you notice as you begin to place the light of awareness in the currents of your breath, and the currents of the breath begin to stretch the light of awareness deeper into the fabric of your body. What do you feel? Where do you feel it? How does it feel? You look so tan. Nice, sun-kissed.
I was thinking you should play Riri for all the Rees.
Sorry?
You're going to play Riri?
Oh, that's so funny. That's a good idea. Maybe next week. Sarah just suggested making a Riri playlist for the retrograde. I don't know, this is TMI and maybe not relevant, but when things started to go really south in the world, I mean, I guess it's been on that trajectory for a long time. Remember that day when we went to bed and we were like, Trump's not winning, and then we woke up and Hillary lost? Some of you might be too young for that. I started to get like really creative about what it was I was going to look forward to in life, just to keep me going. Again, like faith is about how and where you place your heart. I needed things to look forward to not be in despair. And so we'll meet in Downward Dog when you're ready. This is long before we knew that Rihanna was going to kind of stop making music. But one of the things that I most look forward to in life is like being an older lady and seeing them bring Rihanna out on stage for one of these like American Music Awards and seeing her do like a medley of her greatest hits, you know, like in our 70s. I can't wait for that moment. They wheeled, was it Joni Mitchell they wheeled out at this last one? She was stunning, absolutely stunning. Pedal the feet a little bit from side to side. So on my darkest days, it's that vision of hope that keeps me going. As you inhale, hug the hands to the midline and feel the arms engage from the ground all the way up into the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, which indicates the bottom center of your heart. And from the bottom center of your heart, right between the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, push down through the arms, press through your fingertips. Push down so much you feel your hips lift higher. And as you claw your fingertips like lion paws, spread your toes like rays of light. It's a Leo dog. Inhale to plank. As you exhale, slowly lower yourself down to earth. How slow can you go? Ride the exhale. And with the inhale, slide your heart forward and up. When I say heart, I refer to the heart center, slightly to the right of the physical heart. Claw the fingertips towards the feet and flick your toenails down as you hug the outer ankles in. Press your hands down and back. On your exhale, downward facing dog, take it slow. And a moment to reflect. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. The deeper the reflection, the greater the light that you cast, the brighter the light. So from the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, as you push through the arms, inhale, float the right leg high to the sky. Look between the hands, exhale, slowly, lightly step forward to a lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. And we remember to nurture the ground of being so deeply that it connects us to what can't be seen but can be felt. As you inhale, lift the back heel, knee, and thigh to the sky. Feel the back leg get progressively straighter, stronger, brighter as you ignite it with the light of awareness. And as you press the back heel, knee, and thigh to the sky, let the top of the front thigh descend. And just one more breath as you wrap the left hip forward, squeeze the right heel in and guide the right knee open. Bend one more inch. Gorgeous. With your exhale, plant your hands. Downward facing dog. Pause, breathe, feel, reflect. Notice the difference, if any, from side to side, round to round. Any newfound space through which the light of awareness can flow more deeply, more fully, more freely. And finding your breath with an inhale, float the left leg to the sky, lift the right heel, look forward. Exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale to reach up, rise up, stretch up. Feel both feet on the ground. And then you lift the back heel high, press the back knee up, feel the back leg ignite. And as you ignite the back leg with the light of awareness, with action, let the front thigh descend, squeeze the front heel in energetically. So without moving the heel, just squeeze it in, guide the front knee open, and then stretch up through your thumbs. Yes, one more breath, bend one more inch. Exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. Find your breath. Inhale to plank. Now, just like the back legs and lunge, as you inhale, lift your heels and knees high to the sky. Feel the thigh bones lift. Look forward, brow soft, gaze sweet, like bedroom eyes, my teacher friend Marnie used to call it. And as you keep the knees and thighs lifting up, exhale, bend your elbows just a quarter to halfway. Reach your heart forward. Lift the heels, knees, and thighs up. Good. Push your arms straight. Exhale, downward dog. So we're going 2 more times like that. And then the tendency is for like all the awareness to go to the upper body, to go to the sense of strength or maybe a sense of the lack thereof in the upper body, wherein your key foundation of power is in your legs. Your legs are the largest, strongest part of you. Inhale to plank. Focus on your lower body from your core through your ground of being. Lift your heels, knees, and thighs to the sky. And as you exhale, thighs stay lifting as you bend the elbows halfway. Lift the knees and thighs. Push the arms straight. Downward dog. And one more time, just like that on your own. Inhale to plank. Lift the heels, knees, and thighs. Focus on the legs. As you exhale, bend the elbows halfway. Nice, Camden. Inhale, the arms straight. Exhale, downward dog. So we gotta remember where our deepest, greatest strength and power resides and try not to get distracted or thrown off from that. Use your legs, use your ground of being, your deepest core power. On the inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the ground. Inhale for warrior 2. As you pull the feet towards each other, you feel the legs ignite from the ground all the way up into the hips. With the leg strong, the tendency is to lean too much over that front leg. Reach back through the left fingertips. Feel yourself stand more through your back leg, and that's what allows you to bend the front leg deeper. Good. Bring your forearm to your thigh, left arm overhead. And as you stand into your back leg, reach through your left fingertips. Use your right arm to help guide your right knee a little bit more open. And as the right knee opens to the right, turn your chest up to the left. Change nothing in the legs. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other, warrior 2. The top, you can push the front leg straight, big breath in. And with your exhale, find triangle pose, fingertips to the floor or blocks. From the core of the pelvis, push through your legs. As you inhale, draw the feet towards each other. Feel the legs engage and ignite. And with the legs strong, from the fingertips, can you draw energy up the arms so that the shoulder blades come together right behind the heart? And as the shoulder blades come together, you can lean back over your shoulder blades. Come onto your tippy fingers of your bottom hand. Is it okay to touch, Shoshi? Is it okay to touch you? Gorgeous. One more of the deepest, fullest breaths. Push through your legs to extend through your spine, your crown, your arms, your fingertips. And on an exhale, pass through lunge. Downward facing dog. Push through the arms to lift through the hips, ground through the heels. And here in notice the difference from side to side, a moment to reflect on the difference that a difference makes. As we align ourselves, engage ourselves, and stretch ourselves through aligned engagement, does it allow the light of awareness to flow more deeply, more fully in you, as you, through you? On your inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the ground, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2, you got it. Draw the shoulder blades to the back of the heart. And then as the shoulder blades join together, can you extend through the arms, the fingertips, reach past your fingertips, not just in front, but can you reach back through the right fingertips as though to touch the wall behind you? Feel your weight shift a little bit more into your back leg. Paula, I'm going to touch for just a sec. There you go. And then you can bend the front leg deeper. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm overhead. Reach the right arm across the room, past your fingertips. Push through your back foot to reach through your top arm, the elbow crease, the thumb more, the little finger. And use your left elbow to guide the left knee more open, bend 1 or 2 more inches. Keep that as you pull the feet towards each other. Inhale through warrior 2, push the front leg straight. Exhale for triangle pose. Take your time, left fingertips to the floor or a block. Walking your back foot back actually is gonna bring the floor closer. Let's unlock the front knee. Put a teeny tiny bend in the front leg, a bend that maybe can't be seen, but you can feel. And as you squeeze the front heel in, guide the front knee open. Take your back heel to me. Just the heel till you feel, yep, there you go. You okay there? Gorgeous. Belly breath. As you inhale, feel the belly expand. As you exhale, the belly softens. Pass through lunge and take it back to downward facing dog. Heel toe your feet about as wide as your mat. Walk your hands towards your feet. Bend your legs as you ground through the heels. And locate your strap. So just a little bend in your legs, as much as you need. And take the strap behind your back for a shoulder stretch here. So we normally do this in like a wide-legged forward fold. We're just taking a wider than forward fold, regular old forward fold here. So feet are as wide as the mat. You can even take the center of your heels to the edges of your mat. And as you take the center of the heels to the edge of the mat, line up the center of the heels and the base of the second toe. And then bend your legs as much as you like. Bring the shoulder blades together, hands as close as you can, keeping the shoulder blades together. Bend the elbows, bend the legs. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other and lean a little bit more into the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, anchor your tailbone down. As you inhale, hug the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, try to pull your hands apart. You can bring your hands way closer. Yep, there you go. You okay there? Gorgeous. If you want more, big if, press your thigh bones back to the back of the room. Inhale, reach the arms to the ceiling. And as you exhale, fold, let the forearms get heavy overhead. Casey, micro bend your right knee, squeeze the left heel in, left inner knee open a little bit. On the exhale, release the strap. Inhale, get long through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, walk it out to downward dog. You can bring your feet more hips width apart under you. And as you inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Lower the back knee to the floor or a blanket. We're gonna find a thigh stretch. Bring your hands to the floor or blocks inside your front leg. You can walk your hands more to the left to help yourself. Bend your back leg, left hand for left foot. And then the right fingertips come back inside the right leg. Maybe right hand to the right thigh. Pad the knee. Try to be less on the kneecap and more the base of the thigh right above the knee. And as you pull the back knee forward, can you lift your belly up and back? Think lift the rib cage up and back. And now shine the light of awareness into your back foot and spread your back toes like rays of light that are trying to penetrate the stairwell wall. In other words, for folks at home, as you pull the back knee forward, turn your left toes more to the left. The tendency is for your left toes to kind of sickle or turn to the right. As you hug the back knee in, turn the back toes out. One more of the deepest, fullest belly breaths. And gently release. Whew. Downward dog. On your inhale, float your left leg to the sky. Exhale for your lunge. Lower the back knee down, adjust the placement of the knee to be less on the kneecap and more right above the knee at the base of the thigh. You can walk your hands to the right, and with the right hand, catch your right foot. And then maybe left hand, if you feel steady, you can come onto the left thigh. Pull the back knee forward, turn the back toes out. So the outer ankle hugs in and the toes fan out to the right. And you just create this pathway for the light of awareness to flow from very cerebral all the way down into your little toe. The little toe of the back foot emanate more to the right. And as you pull the back knee forward, can you draw the whole rib cage, shoulder girdle, crown, up and back? On the exhale, gently release. Downward facing dog. Okay, very mindful of props along the sides, edges of the mat. Find your breath. Press the inner edges of the hands down. As you exhale, pivot the heels to the right. You can have the left foot in front of the right foot or the feet stacked. Press the inner edge of your right hand down. Claw the fingertips and open slow motion the left arm to the sky. Press the inner edge of your bottom hand down and forward and lift your hips as high as you can. You can even slide the head back, soften the eyes, maybe even close the eyes, and let the heart center turn towards the ceiling. Exhale to downward dog. Feel both hands on the ground, both feet on the ground. Lift the heels high, pivot the heels to the left. Right foot can be in front of the left foot or feet stacked. Press the inner edge of the bottom hand down and try to make your hips the highest point. Lean back on your shoulder blades. Push through your legs. Rest your head back. Lift your hips. Maybe close your eyes for one more breath. Exhale for downward dog. Find your breath. Inhale to float the right leg to the sky. Exhale through to pigeon prep or low lunge if you prefer. Pigeon prep or low lunge. Take your blocks high on their highest height to frame your hips, one on each side of the hips. High, 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 one on each side of the hips. And then inch your back knee back as much as you can, in a little bit, and tuck the back toes under. Good, then right at your edge, pull the knees towards each other to lift and square your hips. So you're almost twisting your hips from left to right. Your left hip forward, right hip back. Bend your back leg, and with your left hand, find your left foot. Pigeon thigh stretch. Linking breath and action. As you inhale, the knees pull in. You feel an inner lift via the strength of your legs. Can you keep the lift without collapsing as you exhale? Let the jaw, neck, and shoulders soften. On your next inhale, leg strong. Maybe right arm reaches to the sky. Maybe. Tip a little bit to the left, twist to the right. Yes. Inhale to release. Exhale for downward facing dog. You can take the right leg high to the sky, open the hips if you like. Kind of give a foot high five to a friend, an imaginary friend, an optimal belief foot high five to the left. And then left foot comes to the ground, and with an inhale, your breath, not my voice, with your inhale, float your left leg to the sky. Exhale through to pigeon prep or low lunge. Back knee to the ground. Blocks to frame your hips, so you're coming more upright for this variation. And as you come more upright, you really have to use your legs, the power of your legs, your sense of connection to your ground of being to support you, to lift you, to hold you up here. Your legs are your strongest part. As you pull the knees in, feel the inner lift, and then use the legs to help take the right hip forward, pull the left knee and hip crease back. And as the weight wants to fall to the left, so you a little bit have to tip to the right and then internally twist your inner body to the left. Bend the back leg, right hand for right foot, pigeon thigh stretch. Again, notice if you're sort of tipping to the left, press through your back knee more and pull your back knee forward to get your weight more evenly on the right side. And if you can feel that even distribution of weight, the left arm takes flight. One of the deepest, fullest breaths. And with an exhale, gently release. Take it back to downward dog. Invitation to three-legged dog. Open your hips, bend the top leg, foot high five to the right. Keep the right armpit lifting as you push your right heel to the right. Inhale the leg long. Exhale, float it down. Right side through to pigeon prep. Follow your breath. This time, bring your block in front of you, forearms to the floor, and with your palms, hug the block. So see with the inner edges of the hands, squeeze the block. Notice if you're sitting to the right side, get a little bit more weight to the left. Is it okay to touch? Okay. So your weight is heavy here. Yes, feel the difference? Yeah. Now you're in there. Otherwise, you're just kind of sinking in your hip flexors. Now you're activated. That's gorgeous. And then even more, like a little bit more. Yes. You okay there? Yeah. And now lengthen through the right side body, right shoulder. Bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Tuck the back toes and lift your back knee and thigh high to the sky. The knee, not the foot. Tuck your back toes under and lift the knee up like the back leg and lunge. Big breath in. On an exhale, can your right foot meet your left foot? Forearm plank. Slow down the inhale. Slow down the exhale. Squeeze the block as you inhale. Lift your knees and thighs up. As you exhale, lengthen your tailbone and soften between your shoulder blades. Soften between your brow. One more of the deepest, fullest breaths. Knees and thighs stay lifting. That's your strength and power. And on the exhale, start to walk your feet forward. Step over your blanket if it's there so you don't slip on it. Walk it in, walk it in. Come onto your tippiest of tippy toes. You could take your feet wider apart or closer together. See what suits you. And as you inhale, squeeze the block, shrug your shoulders. As you exhale, press your upper back towards your thighs. Good. Walk it all the way back to forearm plank. Reach your heart forward. Lift your thighs up. Try to stretch your heart across the room, but keep the fronts of your thighs lifting. On an exhale, walk it in again. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. Come on to your tippiest of tippy toes, and this time float your left leg to the sky. Lift more from the inseam. Flex your left foot, spread your toes, turn your left toes in more. Exhale, float the left foot down. Walk it back a little bit, lower the knees. Rest in child's pose or in full pranam, whichever is more comfortable for you. The breath ignites the heart. The indwelling splendor of the heart illuminates and inspires the faculty of your mind and the agency of your body. And here in this gift of embodiment, we seek alignment, we seek progress, resilience, and the deep self-awareness and clarity around our indwelling light and how we bring it to the world. Feel the backs and sides of your waist expand with each breath, an indication that the light of awareness is taking you deeper and fuller. On an inhale, come through table. With an exhale, find downward dog. Pause, feel, reflect. Claw the fingertips, spread the toes, notice any shifts in awareness. On an inhale, we'll float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, take it on through to pigeon prep. And this time we'll bring the block to the floor in front of us on its lowest, widest direction. Come to your forearms and hug the block between the palms. And kind of like scooch the block away from you and sort of army crawl on your forearms, like forward as though you're pulling your torso out from the depths of your being. The tendency is for the weight to tip a little bit more to the left, so you got to get more weight on the right side, and then anchor the tailbone down towards the earth and see if you can get a little bit more extension through the spine. Maybe scooch the elbows forward a little bit more, shrug the shoulders. Yes, tuck the back toes. Big breath in, lift the back knee and thigh up. Awesome, Corey. And with your exhale, left foot meets the right foot in forearm plank. Everything's in one long line. Lift the heels, lift the knees, lift the thighs, reach the heart forward and up. Soften the jaw, the brow, the neck. As you inhale, hug the block, lift the thighs. As you exhale, soften between the shoulder blades. One more of the deepest, fullest breaths. Use your legs. And on your exhale, walk your feet forward. Come onto the tippiest of tippy toes. You could try taking your feet wider apart or closer together and see if either one of those helps you walk it in a little bit more. And as you squeeze the block and press the forearms down, shrug your shoulders and press your upper back to your thighs and your thighs to the sky. Is it okay to touch?
Yes.
Okay. Gorgeous. You okay there?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
And walk it back to forearm plank. Reach your heart forward as you walk your feet back. Lift the thighs an inch, press the knees up, and now reach your heart forward an inch and let the spine right between the shoulder blades move an inch towards the ground without taking your hips and thighs with you. Good, and then walk it forward. Woo! Walk it in, and right at your edge, float your right leg to the sky. Flex the right foot, turn the right toes in. Awesome, Elizabeth, and press your inner right thigh across the room. Look forward, turn your right toes in more, and lower it down. Walk it back a little bit and rest in child's pose or full pranam, which just means on your belly. Notice the aftermath of how it feels to having stood in and on and from your heart just now. Feel the rhythmic beating of your heart, the breath as it reverberates through every fiber of your being. How does it feel to practice standing in and on and from the heart? Inhale to table, exhale to downward facing dog. Again, just mindful of the props along the sides of your mat, especially near your feet. We're going to take it a little bit towards wild things. Find your breath. We'll meet in downward dog. Claw the fingertips, spread the toes, and draw energy from the earth, from your ground of being, from our connection to each other, up the arms and legs into the heart of hearts. Somewhere in between the bottom of the breastbone and the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, right in the middle of all that, the indwelling light of the heart, the source of supreme love and divine wisdom, always present, intrinsically peaceful, utterly powerful. And from there, in the middle between the bottom tips of the shoulder blades and the base of the breastbone, push through your arms like rays of light that are going to penetrate the floor as you extend up through the hips, back through the thighs, down through the heels. Shrug the shoulders, lift your heels, pivot your heels to the right. You can bring your left foot in front or stack the feet. Inhale the left arm to the sky. Draw the shoulder blades together. Now bring your left palm to your heart center, over your sternum, your breastbone. And as you push through the bottom leg and foot, step your left foot behind you, big step back. Parallel your feet if you can to protect your lower back. Parallel your feet. And then as you hug the knees together, push through your legs to press your heart into your hand and your hand into your heart. And either look for the floor or close your eyes and look for your heart. Exhale to downward facing dog. Find your breath. Rest as needed. Feel the breath on the sides and back of the waist. And when you're moderately recovered, we'll meet back in downward dog for the second side. Give it a push for side two. Pivot your heels to the left. You could step your top foot in front or stack your feet. Open the left arm to the sky, big breath in, push through the legs, lift through the hips. Top hand comes to heart center. And this is key because you're creating a boundary to press into here, right at the heart. The heart is your boundary. Big step back with your right foot. Once you stand through the right leg, parallel your feet to protect your back. Turn your toes in, hug your knees in, and can you push through your legs to press your heart into your hand and your hand into your heart. Leave a handprint on your heart and a heart print on your hand. Close your eyes. Exhale, downward dog. And rest. I think we're warm. Take a sip of water. Any questions on anything we've done so far? Comments, concerns? Okay. Let's bring our mats to the wall, and you can bring all your stuff with you. We should have plenty of space in here today. Take your time. Oh. You okay there, Camden? Just watch out for this wire. I keep meaning to fix that. Okay, we're gonna start with L pose at the wall. I wanna show, Camden will show on screen, and I'll show in the middle of the room all the different versions of L pose, which count as an inversion. I'll come right here at the sconce. So the first way is to come into plank pose and bring your hands like kind of the level of your hips. I might be a little bit higher to start, just especially if it's new and you're not sure. And as I bring the hands, I'm just gonna move some of this. I'm being lazy. How not to demonstrate, especially if there's teachers in the room. Don't be a lazy demoer. So this would be like chaturanga, okay? Shoulders back. Yeah. My halo. Okay, and then I'm just gonna walk my feet back until my arms are straight. Biceps in line with the ears, hips over the heels. I feel like I could go a little bit deeper, so I might walk my hands down a little bit more. And this is a not inverted L pose. So feet on the floor, hands on the wall. It's just a great pose to know and try because it's a non-weight bearing downward dog too. So if your wrists are ever really bothering you, or spoiler alert for a lot of folks, someday your wrists will bother you. It's great to know what the alternative is. You could do all of your Surya Namaskar poses in an upright position, so you're never bearing any weight on your wrists. Another option would be, preferably not with an outlet at about your ass level. These are the restorative options, okay? L pose at the wall. Inverted, restorative. This is my favorite, like if we are just leaving peach season and entering tomato season, like produce being seasonal, yoga poses are seasonal. To me, this is the August yoga pose, just legs up the wall, inversion. There's like enough heat in the world. And then if you want to go a little more fiery, hands a little bit forward of your shoulders, shrug your shoulders, come through what feels like a very tight down dog, 1 foot hip height at the wall, push the foot through the wall to bring the other foot up. Now you're in L pose, inverted. You can work right here. I'm pushing my hands through the floor, my feet through the wall, maybe one leg at a time. You have tried to warn me, thank you. Like warrior 3 upside down, okay? breathing. That's where we're going to start. I'm going to talk you through the L pose that I showed last, but if you prefer down dog, hands on the wall L pose, or legs up the wall, it's called an inverted lake pose or Viparita Karani. Those are yours to have, yours to know, yours to love. Throw this hair out and then I'll talk you through it. So make a choice that feels in alignment with your own progress. And the progress refers to your capacity to realize your indwelling light, your progress in bringing your own light to those in the world around you. And pro tip, usually it's counterintuitive and more the opposite of the tendency. So if you tend to push, maybe a restorative option is in order. And if you tend to sort of freeze or fawn, then maybe a more active variation is called for. Whatever the case may be, you do you, it's your practice. If you're coming into L pose, you're going to start in tabletop position on all fours with the soles of your feet against the wall and the hands a tiny bit forward of the shoulders. And then as you press the inner edges of the hands down, shrug your shoulders a tiny bit, tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips up, come into downward facing dog. It will feel tight. Lift one foot just hip height at the wall. It will feel tight. I can't talk. Will feel tight. Push that foot through the wall. Yes, bring your other foot to meet it. So you're in L pose. And as you push the hands through the floor, push your feet through the wall and meet yourself in your heart of hearts. From your heart of hearts, push through your fingertips, spread your toes, maybe right leg to the sky. Probably right foot to the wall, recommended before left foot to the sky. Turn your top toes in if you're going for that warrior 3 variation. And if you're upside down, maybe 1, maybe 2 more breaths, and then rest either in a standing forward fold or child's pose. So that was a warm up. Take your time, find your breath. As you inhale, feel your belly expand. As you exhale, feel your belly soften. Questions, comments, concerns there? Okay, the next one we play a little bit with proprioception. Okay, so any of the variations will do. We're going to play with proprioception, which is our self-awareness of ourself in relationship to ourself in the space around us. Those were a few extra words. I'm going to give that to Mercury retrograde as well. Fluency in yoga, we don't practice for the sake of the fruits of the practice, but there are fruits to the practice. And in our tradition, that is the celebration of embodiment as the gift of divine, we are meant to sort of savor and cherish the fruits of the practice. So with practice, you get a sharp mind, a vibrant body, and a soft heart. And the thing that sharpens the mind is our awareness of ourselves in space when we're in these various postures. We're kind of aligning ourselves and wrapping ourselves around ourselves and then not getting lost in space. So you can be legs up the wall, hands on the wall L pose, or feet on the wall L pose. Take a choice, make a choice that suits you in this moment, and then we're going to play with gaze. It'll be kind of a trip, and then we'll talk about it. I think we did this last week. We for sure did it on Wednesday. Come into L pose, your version of L pose. Take your time in your setup, find your ground of being, use the strength of your legs in any of the variations. Feel your hands, feel your feet, find your breath. And then once you're in, look up, look down. Notice where you're looking when you look down. Notice where you're looking when you look up. So you're in a plank pose at the wall, which is awesome and really hard. It'll be easier when you get your butt higher the next time. It's like you're doing more core work. We're doing more arm balance. Look down and look up. And notice when you're looking down your body, you're looking up in space. And when if you are inverted, if you're inverted, when you're looking down your body, you're looking up in space. And when you're looking up in space, you're looking down at your body. Yes? And rest. That was a long hold. Find your breath. Okay, if you're not already, come onto your back. If you're on your back, scoot your butt, roll to your side and scoot your butt a little bit away from the wall. Place a block between the thighs. Will you bring them blocks over there? Yeah. Like, where are those blocks? There you go. So scoot yourself away so your feet are on the floor. Block between the thighs. Feet are on the floor, block between the thighs. Place your hands outside your ears about as wide as your mat. Palms on the floor, fingers point towards the feet. Elbows point towards the sky. Palms to the, setting up for Urdhva Dhanurasana. But it's not about doing Urdhva Dhanurasana or getting Urdhva Dhanurasana. It's not about the perfection of the pose, it's about the progress and really seeking the actions that are going to help us plug into the heart and stay connected to the heart. So there's a lot of places between here and Urdhva Dhanurasana. Your hands are outside your ears as wide as your mat. Turn your hands out a little bit, hug your elbows in a little bit, and hug the block. Big breath in. As you exhale, just stand through your feet, lift your hips up. So now you're in bridge pose. I like to call it like a goofy bridge pose. And as you stand through the feet and lift through the hips, can you bring the shoulder blades a little deeper together? Yes, hug the block more with the fronts of the thighs. And as you push through your legs, can you come to the top of your head? Push through your legs and come to the top of your head. So you're using your legs more than your arms. Now hug your elbows in and suck your inner armpits back. Hug the outer shoulder blades together. Push through your legs, and press through your arms to maybe lift your head up a little bit off the floor. You gotta use your legs 100,000 times more than you think, and then rest. Lower all the way down to the ground. We're gonna roll to one side, place both blocks on an angle at the wall. If you have the baseboard, it's really perfect for kind of catching the top of the block, like Corey is demoing on the top of the baseboard. On the brick wall, you have to be a little bit more cautious. We want them as wide as the mat and really wedged in flat and tall. They should feel very stable. And then you're going to flip around and place your head between the blocks. Head between the blocks. And now you're going to place your hands on top of the blocks. And it's all going to feel a little goofy. It's all going to feel a little awkward. This is what sharpens the mind. Okay? Take some deep breaths. Find your breath. Feel both feet on the ground, especially when things feel a little stirred or awkward. Dare I say chaotic. And with the hands on the block, stand through your feet to lift your hips up. Just focus on the bridge pose. Turn your toes in. Hug your knees, and you can walk your feet a tiny bit towards me, a little bit more right there, and turn your toes in more. Beautiful. Push through the feet to lift through the hips. Turn your toes in, just your toes. Yep. Now, as you push through your legs, when you come to the top of your head, good, crown of the head, push through your legs to push your heart towards the wall. Suck your armpits in, hug your knees to the midline, and now push through the legs, push through the hands to come up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Turn your toes in, maybe lift your heels up, maybe tiptoe your feet towards the wall. And as you ground through the heels, push through your legs to pump your heart towards the wall, as though your heart center could kiss the wall. And if you've walked the feet in, tiptoe the feet back out and lower down. And rather than pulling the knees right in towards the chest, just take your feet as wide as the mat and let the knees rest against each other at the midline. Enjoy your breath, the rhythmic beating of your heart as it reverberates from inside out in all directions. Okay, now if you love that, you can stay here and do this again. For something different, you're now going to take your blocks on their lowest height, right where they are, and you're going to flip around and place your feet on the blocks. So we're going to spin it around again, stir the pot, blocks flat on the floor, feet hips width apart with the feet on blocks like platform shoes. You can scooch your butt in towards the blocks. Good. Scooch it in, tushy towards the block so that your knees are over your ankles. That's the way we want it. And then press the elbows down alongside the waist. Bend the elbows so the palms face the midline, fingers point towards the sky. And as you press your elbows down, so the elbows are right alongside the waist like this. As you press the elbows down, lift the chest up and wriggle the shoulder blades together. Keep that as you stand through the feet to lift your hips up for bridge pose. Push through your feet, hug the knees to the midline, and wriggle the shoulder blades in deeper. Maybe hook your thumbs or your hands under your hips. Press the center back of the skull down and lift the chin a little bit to open the throat. Drink the breath in, hug the knees to the midline, and as you exhale, push through your legs, push through your blocks to feel the bridge grow from inside out. You might interlace your hands underneath you and press your wrist knobs, your forearms to the floor. If you want more, huge, big if, you can place your hands outside your ears. Keep the shoulder blades together. Push through the legs to come to the top of your head. Yeah, you got to scooch in. Sorry, I was coming over. Yeah, there you go. Push through your legs. Push through your arms to come into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Look towards your heels. Are you looking up or down? Look towards your heart. Are you looking up or down? When you look towards your heels, you're looking up and down at yourself. And when you look towards your heart, you're looking down and up in your space. Carefully lower down. You're on the blocks. And let the knees rest against each other at the midline. The deeper the reflection, the brighter the light. Okay, we're going to ditch the blocks and feel both feet on the ground. Bend the elbows alongside the waist for bridge pose. Regular, old-fashioned bridge pose. Bend the elbows, press the elbows down, and press the center back of the skull down. And before you even come into the pose, could you feel the whole back body chain ignite? When you press the center back of the skull into the earth, can you feel all the little muscles on either side of the cervical vertebra and upper back engage? Press the elbows down, the upper back engages even more. Stand through your feet to lift your hips up. Walk your feet towards the wall a tiny bit. Yeah, you might be a little close to the wall. If you feel it in your knees, you just got to scooch this way a tiny bit. So we want knees directly over the ankles. From here, you can either hook the thumbs under the hips, keep your hands as they are. You can press your hands down into the floor to lift up. You can interlace the hands underneath you, or you can come into Urdhva Dhanurasana if you know it, you love it, and you have more steam for it. Turn your toes in, hug your knees in. Walk your feet and legs a little closer together. Bend the right knee over the right hip. Press the right heel to the sky. Squeeze the left knee to the midline and try to push through your left foot to make a right footprint on the sky. You got to push through your left foot. Hug the left knee to the midline. Right foot comes down. Left heel to the sky. Flex the foot like you're gonna make a footprint on the ceiling, and you gotta squeeze the right knee in 1,000 times more. Squeeze the right knee in, press the right foot down and forward, squeeze the right knee in more, carry more, right knee in, push the right foot down, and place the left foot on the ground. Pause, judge whether you need or want to come out. Just bend the right knee over the right hip, right foot down, left knee over left hip, left foot down. 1 or 2 more times to each side, marching, like good yoga soldiers. You don't even need to cross, it's just marching. Yep. And then if you have space, you can even like march it across the room. Walk your right hand out and lower down. That's what Thursday nights are for. We gotta bring Thursday nights back soon. Feet wide apart, knees together, all the way down to the ground. Again, notice the rhythmic beating of your heart, the source of that indwelling light, the voice of God. Let the splendor of your heart illuminate your mind, your body, emanate from inside out through every pore on the surface of your skin. Let that light emanate as far and as wide as you could possibly imagine. Like a star in the sky, imagine that the indwelling light of the heart could emanate light years. If you're too close to the wall, just scoot yourself a little bit more away and let both knees, take your feet as wide as the mat and let both knees fall gently to the right, like windshield wipers. And then let both knees windshield wiper to the left, like windshield wipers. And go back and forth at your own pace. Can slowly or more dynamic. So to effectively open our hearts, we must nurture our awareness of our connection to the strength and power that is our ground of being. Like have you ever, I'm sure, and this is like a human thing, we've all been there, we've all done it, whether we're conscious of it or not, like open your heart when you were in a place in your life where you were not grounded. Recipe for disaster. So it's so important that we nurture the foundation, that we resource ourselves and learn what it is we need in order to feel grounded. And then once we're grounded, we cultivate standing in and on and from the heart. And that has everything to do with what we believe in, which indicates how and where we place our hearts. And this requires deep reflection and self-awareness. What do you believe in, and how does it indicate how and where you place your heart? And then once we've nurtured our ground of being and our belief in self, that Leo confidence, if you will, then we can safely and sustainably open the heart and shine our light fully, brilliantly in all we do. Now you can hug your knees in towards your chest, thread your arms between your legs and find happy baby. I was listening to the Brittany Howard interview on NPR last week. Did anyone catch that one? She's was the lead of Alabama Shakes, and now she has a couple solo albums. And she was talking about how like some of the songs on the album are about a breakup and how she dimmed her light in that relationship for the sake of the other person. That sound familiar to anyone? Don't dare be too bright or just like your regular brightness. No, it's so important that even when we look at our relationships, you know you're in a like good, healthy relationship when you add to each other's brilliance. You make it brighter. Doesn't mean that there's not going to be down times or sad times. Hug your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your legs. But intimacy is the value-added project. It doesn't have to be romantic intimacy. It's just relationships in general. In our yoga tradition, the highest attainment isn't liberation. Not to say that liberation isn't something we're all after, collective liberation, but what is needed in order to achieve collective liberation, and then the fruit of the collective liberation is intimacy. And it's the way in which our light adds value to those in the world around us, and the lights of those around us reflect our own light. Can release the feet to the floor. You're going to gently, this is going to be a little bit disruptive, roll to the right, press through the arms, one final downward dog. And rather than looking for a familiar downward dog or an old downward dog, it's a new moon. Can you look for a new experience in downward dog? And what I might recommend on that note is to take your feet back a little bit and walk your hands forward a little bit. It's going to be a little destabilizing to widen your stance, but you're giving yourself more space to stand your ground. And as you stretch yourself out like this, hug your hands to the midline, hug your feet to the midline, and sort of pull to the center. And as you pull into the center from the bottom of your heart, push through your arms, lift through your hips, ground through your heels, make it a bigger, newer down dog. And on an exhale, child's pose, bow to the earth where we're all connected. Bow to your heart where we are all connected. The breath connects us from heart to heart. And we can take care of all this stuff for you, Maury. Thank you. Yeah. The breath ignites the heart. The heart illuminates the mind and the body. And here in this gift of embodiment, we emanate light on the exhale. And the light that is your exhale becomes your neighbor's inhale. Your light ignites your neighbor's heart. Your neighbor's heart magnifies your light. Can sit back on your heels and just stretch the right leg out long. We're almost to Shavasana. Keep the left leg bent in. Interlace your hands right across the front of your shin to sit up tall. So your heels can be hips width apart here. You can even manually widen your butt cheeks. It'll help draw the low back in and up more. And as you hug the left shin in, you're going to take the right fingertips behind you, left elbow inside the left leg. So it's an open belly twist. Did I say stretch your right leg out long? Bend the left leg in? That's what I meant to say, yeah? Bring the left arm inside the left leg and press your leg into your arm. Can you feel that? It's an open belly twist. Press your right fingertips into the earth. Press your right heel into the earth. Your right sitting bone into the earth. Big breath in, rise up from inside. And as you exhale, press leg into arm to twist. And arm into leg. Inhale to untwist. Stretch your leg out long. Bend the second leg in. Take your left fingertips behind you or whichever arm coincides with your straight leg. Press the outer arm into the inner leg. The extended leg, we're pressing the heel, knee, and thigh down. Stand through your bent leg foot. Press arm into leg, leg into arm. Big breath in. Anchor both sitting bones to the earth, the pubic bone. And then really squeeze that bent leg knee to the midline to leverage the twist. You twist deeper on the exhales. Inhale to untwist. Scoot your tushy forward a little bit and gently come onto your back. You can give yourself one of the those final sweet embraces. Wrap yourself around yourself, for this is and you are the gift of life. You can add or remove layers, especially if you have a bolster nearby. I might recommend placing that either under your knees for low back release, or my favorite to feel more grounded is over the tops of the thighs or belly. The tops of the thighs or belly. Oh, did we lose connection again? And find your breath. You could take legs up the wall, another great choice. We're going to inhale for a 4 count. And exhale for 5 through the nose. We have time, so this is our first restorative, and you can stay here for the remainder of the time, or I'll give invitations to find some other variations. But as you make yourself as comfortable as humanly possible in this moment, look for the breath. Let the breath be deep and full for a 4 count. You are your own metronome, your own measure of self-reflection. And exhale slightly longer than the inhale. And over the course of the next few breaths, as you inhale for your 4 count, extend your exhale to 6. Let the exhale flow into the inhale. The breath deep and full on the count of 4. And exhaling longer, maybe pushing the exhale slowly towards 7. So if you slow down the beginning of each exhale, it makes it longer. The inhale ignites the heart. Breathe in for the 4 count. And the exhale is the conscious offering an emanation of the indwelling light. And as you inhale for 4 and the heart ignites, can you exhale towards 8? The bottom of the exhale, receive the inhale patiently. Try not to let it get to the point of urgency. The beginning of the inhale is slow. The breath is deep and full. The heart ignites. And experimenting, no need to control or subjugate the breath. We're playing. Experimenting with exhaling for 8. Inhale through the nose for 4. Exhale for 8. If you know and love Ujjayi Pranayama, or you learned it here last month, you can activate your Ujjayi for more reflection so that your breath makes that distant rolling thunder sound or the sound of ocean waves created by a gentle, soft tone in the back of the throat. Your glottis muscles are used for whispering, for sipping, and for Ujjayi breath. So we drink the breath in through the nose, through the back of the throat. Take it deep, let it fill for 4. And whisper the breath out through the back of the throat through the nose for 8. And just 3 more cycles of breath with the light of awareness in and on the currents of the breath. And after that third long exhale, release the effort and let the light of awareness observe the breath as it breathes you. Allow yourself to be breathed. Scan your body with your awareness to see, are there any adjustments that you need or want to make? Can adjust the placement of your props, can alter the placement of your body. If you are grounded and relaxed as and where you are, no need to change a thing. Allow the currents of your breath to guide you into the sacred hub of the heart. And herein take refuge in the source of your indwelling light. Imagine reclining inside the light of your own heart. And rather than seeing its light, can you feel its light, like the way we experience the sun itself? As you bathe in the light of the heart, can you feel it radiating in every cell and fiber of your being, reaching and penetrating even the overlooked, unrealized, shadowy aspects of this interior world? And as you bathe in the light of the indwelling splendor of the heart, letting it reach every interior facet and aspect of your being. Now allow it to emanate through every single pore on the surface of your skin. No dimming. Through the back body, the sides of your body, the front of your body, from every multifaceted dimension of yourself, let the indwelling splendor of the heart emanate. Like the most brilliant jewel, the most brilliant sun. And now place this brilliance of being against a pitch black backdrop, like the night sky on a new moon. And can you sparkle and twinkle in the extraordinary ways that stars shine? The deeper the gravitational pull at the center of the star, the brighter its light. The more grounded we allow ourselves to be in a world of darkness, the brighter our light. So that the darkness that may surround us doesn't dim our light. The darkness that at times surrounds us makes us even brighter. With the eyes still closed, a steady gaze inward, invite a deep and full breath in, and a slow and a long breath out. Taking your time to deepen your breath and feeling how naturally your breath deepens you. As you deepen the breath, let the spirit that you are gently awaken your body, wiggling toes and fingers, stretching arms and legs. And as the spirit that you are awakens the body that you have, let the body that you have embrace, adorn, and affirm the spirit that you are, literally wrapping yourself around yourself. For this is, and you are, the gift of life. Imagine that. Receiving the gift of your own indwelling light and sharing it generously and courageously with those in the world around you. Imagine that you were put here to shine. As the spirit that you are awakens the body that you have, and the body that you have embraces the spirit that you are. As you're ready, mindful of your props and your position, you can bend the legs and feel your feet on the ground. With the eyes still closed, call yourself down to earth and take a breath. Call yourself back to reality and take a breath. And take a moment to visualize the ways in which you stretch yourself, your indwelling light, this practice of yoga, courageously into the activities of your daily life as an offering to those in the world around you. How does it look? What does it feel like? What is the value? A moment to visualize how and where you place your heart. And when you're ready, you can gently roll to one side. Press through your arms, find your way into a comfortable seated posture with your eyes closed, hands folded before the heart in Anjali Mudra. Final gesture of sincere self-reverence and courageous self-offering. With great faith, we place the indwelling light of the heart before us as both the guide and the offering in all we do. In so doing, bringing more brilliance, more love and virtuosity to those in the world around us. So as you bow to your heart, with all my heart I bow to every one of you. Thank you so much for your practice today, for your presence, and thank you for all that you are and all that you do every single day of this life. Deep breath in, full breath out. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, y'all. It's the last time we had like a nearly 15-minute Shavasana. Hope you got some good rest. Again, roll into rest. I think that's August 17th or 18th. 18th, 17th is Kids Yoga. Roll into rest was our most coveted and beloved yoga workshop prior to pandemic. And it's been a while since we've had it on the calendar. So if you're in town, check it out. It's a full body self-massage with the yoga tune-up massage balls that prepares us for deep release and a restorative practice. It's just the most genius sequence of events since, I don't know, sperm and egg, I guess. So roll into rest with Adriana and Anisha. And then if you're curious about immersion and teacher training, they're having an info session just following. Thanks, everyone.